Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to learn how to knit a baby hat, and this is the one that I'm going to show you how to knit. As you can see, it's worked in the flat from here to here, and then we join in the round to do the decreases for the back and close in here. It has a beautiful lace scalloped edge, and then just plain stockinette and knit two together decreases to finish it up. It has a garter stitch edge here and a few stitches added on for the behind the neck to make it more comfortable. It also has an I-cord string, well, two I-cord strings, which will be used to tie the hat underneath the baby's chin. But this is what it looks like. I worked it with Hobbycraft Hey Baby. It's a beautiful yarn to work with, especially for children and for baby project, because it's not too fuzzy and it's not harsh. It's very soft. It can be chucked in the washing machine, no problem. It doesn't shrink, it doesn't stretch. It's just perfect for children garments. Now, in order to knit this, you need obviously your wool and circular needles. I strongly advise on circular needles, because from working in the flat to working in the round, we don't need to change the needles. We can just work magic loop. You also need two double-pointed needles to make the I-cord. Obviously, if you don't have double-pointed needles, you could use a crochet hook to make a string like this, or you could just knit 3 stitches garter stitch to make like a little ribbon that you could use to tie the hat with. You also might need a measuring tape or a ruler to know to check your gauge, and also to know when to start the decreases. Now, I'm not going to knit a full size because I will have a downloadable PDF pattern in the description down below that will give you all the instructions on how to knit this, and also all the stitches that you need to cast on, to bind off, how to work this lace and everything. But because I want to make this quick, we're going to make a mini one. So we're going to cast on for a small baby hat, tiny, you'll see. But just click the description down below and get your pattern. It's a free pattern. Get your pattern printed or save it in your iBooks and use the number of stitches that you need for the size that you're knitting. But for now, I'm just going to do a cast on. So I'm going to leave a tail. I'm going to make a slip knot, and I usually cast on 2 needles like this to make the first row easier to work. Okay, so let's see. All right. So I've done a cast on of a number of stitches that do not match any size, just to make it quicker for me to show you how to work the different stitches. But once you've done your cast on of however many stitches you're working, for example, for this one, I did a cast on of 76 stitches. So yeah. Pull your needle through, and now we want to work 3 rows of garter stitch. So just plain knitting, knit 3 rows, every row just do knit stitches. So go through and knit. Just plain knitting. It's very simple. We do have to do some yarn overs and some knit 2 together, but that's pretty much it. So we've done 3 rows of garter stitch, and we're back on the right side, and we're ready to start this scalloped edging, but we are also going to work all along the entire piece that we work in the flat a garter stitch edge, which is 5 stitches. So I'm going to start with knit 5, okay. Now I'm going to knit 2 together, so I go not to the first, to the second stitch, and put my needle through both of them and knit them together like that, okay. Then I'm going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to do a yarn over, so just wrap the yarn around like that. Then I'm going to knit 1. Then I'm going to do another yarn over, knit 3, and then I'm going to knit 2 together through the back. So I'm going to go through the back of the first stitch and of the second stitch and knit 2 together. So that's the repeat. You're going to repeat this after the 5 stitches of garter. You're going to do knit 2 together, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, knit 2 together through the front. So I'm just going to show you that repeat one more time. So we're going to knit 2 together, going to the second stitch, okay. Then I'm going to knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, and then I'm going to knit 2 together through the back loop like so. And then I have the 5 stitches, which are the edge stitches, garter stitch, okay. That's the right side. For the wrong side row, we're just going to knit all stitches, including the garter stitch. So knit all the stitches, including the yarn overs. I'll show you when I get to one. So this is a yarn over. You're just going to knit it. That creates a hole, and the decreases will make that scalloped edge for the hat, which I think is quite cute. Now if you want to knit this for a boy and you don't want the scalloped edge, you could, instead of working this pattern, you could just do garter stitch for 11 rows, and that will just make it even simpler. Okay. Now we are on row number, let's see, 6, is it? I think so. So we're going to knit 5, which is our garter stitch edge, 4, 5. Then we're going to knit 2 together again, so go to the second stitch and knit 2 together, which is a right leaning decrease. Then I'm going to knit 2, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 2, and do a left leaning increase. So you could do an SSK if you want, slip, slip, and knit through the back loop. Because we're working garter stitches, it won't look much different. Okay, so we're going to repeat that that 11 stitch count to 5 until we have 5 stitches left at the end, and then we're going to work the garter stitch. So I'll show you again. So we're going to knit 2 together, knit 2, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 2, and then SSK or knit through the back loop, both of them like that. And the garter stitch edge, which is 5 stitches, Okay, and you can see it already starts to form a little bit, the scallop edging. All right, for the next row, we're just gonna knit all stitches. The next row, start by knit 5, our edge stitches. Okay, now we're going to do a knit two together. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, knit 1, SSK, or knit through the back loop 2 together. We're going to repeat that until we have 5 stitches left, and we're going to work the edge. So knit 2 together, knit 1, yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, knit 1, SSK, and knit 5. Can you see? It's already forming. Next row, knit all stitches, and then we have one more row of increases and decreases. And we're ready for the last row of increases and decreases. We're going to start with knit 5. Okay, we're going to knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 7, yarn over, SSK, and we'll repeat that until we have 5 stitches left. So knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 7, yarn over, SSK, and knit the edge stitches. So that is the scalloped edge at the beginning of our hat. And for the rest, now obviously you're going to work one row of all knit stitches. Row 11. All right. So for the rest of the piece, which is worked in the flat, we're just going to work stockinette with garter stitch edge. So as you can see here, I can't put it straight, but anyway, we worked 10 centimeters of stockinette all around with a garter stitch edge, which means on the front of the work you're going to knit all stitches, on the back of the work you're going to knit 5, purl until you have 5 left, and knit the last 5 stitches to make the garter stitch edge. And I will do that for this little hat, and then I'm going to see you when we're ready to do a little bit of cast on here and start the decreases for the crown. So I left you where we were starting the stockinette part, and as you can see, this is a small sample. Is not what your hat is going to look like. Yours is going to be like big like this. So we are here. we reached this point where we're going to do this little cast on here and start the decreases to make this nice rosette style decrease for the back of the head. Let's just put it there so you can see it. So I want to show you how to do this this cast on row and how to join in the round and work the magic loop. So we are on the right side, and we're going to knit across the stitches. So just knit all your stitches. And when you get to the end, you don't turn your work. We're just going to cast on 4 stitches. So I'm going to hold the yarn like this, go underneath with my thumb, and put that loop on the needle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So now we need to join in the round and start the magic loop method. So I'm going to go roughly halfway and pull my cable out. Not pull it out, just pull it through. So the stitches, half of the stitches are going to come on this front needle, and the rest are going to stay on the back needle. Make sure the cast on that we just did is not twisted. All right. I'm going to pull on the needle from the back and start working in the round here. So I'm going to knit all stitches. So just knit the stitches on this front needle first. Okay, pull the needle along like this, and that cast on that we did is quite tight. So just try to get your stitches back on the needle and continue working magic loop to the end of the round. And when you get to the cast on that you just did, just be careful because they're just loops. So be careful not to drop them. Just knit them as you come to them. And don't worry if it looks a little bit like you've got so much extra yarn. That will close up with the next couple of rows that you do. So that first row, you don't do any decreases, you just knit along all through the stitches. Yeah. And now for the second row, and this is the beginning of the round, if you want you could just put a stitch marker on it, but you kind of know it's the beginning of the round if you're working magic loop. And now for this hat, when I started the decreases, and it will tell you in the pattern, you start with knit 8, knit 2 together, knit 8, knit 2 together, knit 8, knit 2 together all around your hat. So the whole round you just knit 8, knit 2 together. Every row you have to do a decrease. So the first row will be knit 8, knit 2 together. The second row, knit 7, knit 2 together. The next knit 6, knit 2 together, and so on until you're left with 8 stitches, and it will tell you in the pattern. So this one on this row, I'm just gonna knit, let's say knit 4, and then I'm gonna knit 2 together. Four, knit 2 together, Okay, so I need to knit 2 more on this side. Oh, it's very tight. Okay, knit 2 together. Knit 4. Knit 2 together. And I want to finish this round and go to the next one, so I show you. If you forget how many you need to do before, or which row you're on, this will kind of show you where you're at, because you kind of know where you need to do the decrease again. So this is a knit 2 together. Okay, that's the first round done. Now for the second round, you do the same thing. You knit a number of stitches and then you knit 2 together. So it's every row is a decreased row until you finish the hat. Why is this? Oh, I see. Can you see my needle came undone? That's not good. So last time we did knit 4, knit 2 together. So for the second time, you see this is our knit 2 together. Can you see? That's our knit 2 together, which means this round we need to knit 3 and then knit those 2 together in order to make this swirl happen at the back of the hat. So I'm going to knit 3, then I'm going to knit 2 together and do that all around. Can you see? That's 1 stitch before I knit 2 together. Then I'm going to knit those 2 together. Knit 2 together. Okay? For the next round, you do knit 2, knit 2 together. So knit 2, knit 2 together, knit 2, knit 2 together, knit 2, and pretty much the last round of increases, it will be just knit 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 2 together all around, and then we just pull the yarn through the rest of the stitches to close in the back of the hat. Oh, what have I done here? No, there we go. All right, as you can see, it already starting to form the little hat. This could be like one of those innocent bottle hats. Knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1. Now I have to knit 2 together for the next one, so I'm just gonna move that stitch to the next needle. It will all be very well explained in the pattern. Do not worry. Here I'm just showing you the technique of how to work this hat in case you have problem visualizing the pattern from the PDF. So this is the last decrease section that we do, which is knit 2 together all around. Knit 2 together. Oh, here we go. Move that stitch again. Okay, so that is all the knitting that we're doing for this hat. The next thing you want to do is break your yarn and break your yarn, and using a tapestry needle just go through all these stitches and pull them closed. And look, you can see there's a mini rosette here. It's a lot smaller than this one we have, but this is what the little hat looks like now. There we go. That's our mini hat. And now I'm going to show you how to work this I-cord to the hat, and you can attach it straight to the hat. So this is what you want to do. Let me just grab my yarn. Oh, I'm tangled. So grab your yarn, leave a little bit of a tail, go to the corner of your hat where the garter stitch is, and right in the corner you want to pick 3 stitches. Oh please, do you have to play loud music now? So you want to go in the V and pick 1 stitch, go in the next V, pick another stitch, go in the 3rd V, pick another stitch. So we have 3 stitches picked up now. We're not going to turn our work, we're just going to slide our needle here, take our 2nd needle and go in the 1st stitch again, bring the yarn that's coming from the end through the back and knit. So this is just plain knitting. Okay, slide the needle, take your other needle and just knit. So we don't turn our work. Let's do a little bit so then you can see what it looks like. Slide the stitches to the front of the needle and knit. So it's kind of creating a tube or a cord for the strings of the hat. Here we go. Let's bind off. So I show you how to bind off, but this is the string, can you see? And to bind off you just knit 1, knit another 1, pass that knitted stitch over, knit the last stitch, pass the stitch over, oops, don't split, sorry, let's go again, knit the last stitch, pass the stitch over, and then bring the yarn through. Break your yarn. Oh, why don't I use the scissors when I have it right here? And there it is. The string, which will be a lot longer than this one, it's attached, so all you need to do is weave in the end and then the hat is finished. So let me show you this set one more time. This is a baby hat. It's got a scalloped edge. It's got strings to tie under the chin. Very warm. It covers the ears and the cheeks of the baby. If you want, you could either fold it like that, even fold it like that, and it looks quite nice as well. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up and let me know if you're gonna knit this, and tag me on Instagram using the hashtag TeoMakes, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.